Welcome to the It's a Sarah podcast. Today it is Thursday, February 16th, and this is February episode number 16. Today it's quite a grey and rainy day in the Netherlands, where I live, in my town. It's not raining very hard, it's a little bit, but I needed umbrella. I was looking for the word. I needed an umbrella this morning during my walk, but when it's this kind of wet way, it's always good for my hair. My curls love the rain because they are only getting better when they are a bit wet. So that's nice. And I also really love the coziness of this weather. I think it's really cozy to sit on the couch and knit or crochet a bit when it's outside, when it's grey and raining. I really love that. So I don't mind a rainy day or a rainy week. We had quite some sunshine the past day, so this is good. It's good when it's raining, also for the nature, for all the plants and the grass and all. So I have two things I want to talk about today. I want to share a knitting accident with you, not caused by me, but with quite a dramatic. It's quite dramatic for the knitting. I will share it with you in a minute. And I also have a knitting question. There is something happening in my knitting I don't understand. It's in my scrappy blanket. I showed it yesterday, and I don't understand why it is happening and how it works. So maybe you can tell me. I'm very curious. Okay, but first the knitting accident. Last week I was picking up a friend for a walk, for an evening walk, and I was at their home, and her husband was in the kitchen, and when I was there too, my friend says, "Okay, I think now it's a good time to share the bad news with Sarah." And I for one second I was in shock. I was thinking, oh no, what is happening here? What is the bad news? But then I saw my friend, he was laughing. So it couldn't be so bad because he was laughing. But he he was quite embarrassed, and he had to confess me something. So I thought, okay, let's go. Tell me. 2 years ago, I knitted a sweater for my youngest girl. It was the novice sweater mohair edition. I don't know if I say it correctly. A pattern by Petite Knit. The junior pattern. It was Petite Knit has all those patterns in all different versions, but this was the novice. I'm quite sure. And I knitted a stripy version for her in some alpaca wool. But she didn't wear it a lot. She loved the look of it, but I think she doesn't like alpaca. How do you say it in English? Alpaca, we say in Dutch. Alpaca. So I don't like, I'm not a big alpaca fan too. So she was cleaning her closet a few weeks ago. And she brought me her sweater, and she said, I'm very sorry, but I don't wear this and it doesn't fit me anymore. So what shall we do with it? And I said, okay, let's bring it to our friends. They also have a daughter too. And the eldest one is very knit-worthy. She loves to wear hand-knitted socks and other sweaters and other stuff. So she was very happy with it. 12-year-old she is. And she lived in the sweater. She was very, very happy with this stripy alpaca sweater. So that was very nice, and everybody was happy. But her mom was gone for a few days. She was on holiday for a few days. And then her dad thought, maybe I can wash some stuff. And it's not it's not that doing the laundry is a lady's job. No, not at all. But in every household, there's a different balance, and sometimes the men do the laundry, sometimes the women, and it's all nice, but and it's all okay. But I do the laundry too here in the house, and it's not that my husband can't do it, but I don't like sharing that job. I when I do it on my own, I know exactly what is going on, and he does other things. Oh, other things. But my friend thought, let me do the laundry one day, and he put the hand knitted alpaca sweater also in the laundry machine, in the washing machine. And when he opened the machine after a regular program, he thought, that's not what I meant. that's not what I want to be. No, it's not. Struggling, Sarah, struggling. The sweater was shrinked a lot, quite a lot. And it looked quite funny, so he laughed, but his daughter cried. She was so sad about this, but I will show it to you. I will add some pictures of the original sweater, so you can see how it was. But it was a sweater for a 12-year-old, and now it's, I think, a baby size, but baby couldn't wear it because it's so stiff, you can't move in it. And even the sleeves are, oh no, not this one. This sleeve is all together. You can put your arm, it's felted, the two layers are felted together. So it's really, really a knitting accident. And yeah, I loved about it too, because it just looked so funny. It was a big sweater I could fit in, and now it's so tiny and weird. So I understand why they laughed, but I also understand the girl crying, and I think it's so sad for her because it was one of her favorite sweaters. And I looked in my stash and I found quite some balls of this alpaca yarn. So I'm thinking of making her a new one. Her birthday is in November, so I have quite some time, and maybe I can knit her a new stripy version. But I have to feel if I really want to spend so much time in it, on it. But yeah. I think she would. It would make her very happy. So this is quite a knitting accident. I never had a knitting accident with some by my own. I did felted a cardigan before I was a knitter. A shop. It was a bought cardigan, not a handmade cardigan, and I also felted my trijsta a bit. But it was my plan to felt it. I knitted my trijsta. It is originally a sweater pattern by Jennifer Steingast, and I sticked it. I knitted it, I guess, 2 years ago. I'm not sure. But it was way too big, and it was a bit baggy, and I didn't feel comfortable in it. It wasn't matching my style, and I don't know, it looked good, but it didn't felt good, and for me it's very important I feel good in my clothes, and I never wore it, and I could have given it away, but I didn't want it too, because I love the color combination and I wanted this cardigan. So then I thought, could I felt it a bit, so it will shrink, it will be a bit tinier, and I can wear it, and it's more the way I want it to be. But it was quite exciting because I had no idea how much it would shrink in the washing machine. So this is way too much, but this was an opportunity. It could happen to this cardigan. So I was thinking very good and feeling very good. What is the worst thing that can happen when I put it in the washing machine? This was the worst thing I could imagine. And will I be okay with that if that happens? And I thought after a while, okay, I'm okay with it. I never wear it now, and maybe it happens, and then I will need a new one. So I was okay with that. And then I washed it on 40 degrees, and it felt it a little tiny bit. And I did it again on 40 degrees, and then it became this way, and it is perfect. It was not shrinked a lot, but a bit, and you can see the fabric. Is a bit felted. I don't know if you can see it right. Maybe in the color work you can see it. I prefer the stitch definition of an unfelted cardigan. I think it was prettier when before I felted it, but now it is shrinked and I can wear it. It is still a bit big for me, but it works pretty good as a coat, as a jacket. And because it's a bit felted, it's very good for windy and rainy weather. The wind can't go through it, and the rain also can't go through it, and it's really a nice overlayer. So I wear it as a coat, as a jacket, and I'm really happy I did it. And it's absolutely no guarantee. I can't guarantee that it will work out when you do it, but when you are okay with eventually failing this process, then yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it was okay for me. So I want to make something from this. I've heard, I don't know who, in a podcast a while ago, somebody told about the mail. Somebody told about making the, how do you call it? The zool. In Dutch we say the zool. The layer of layers for in your shoes. The form of your feet for in your shoes for extra warmth, or in your house shoes. So I like that idea. I also thought I can make a cushion, a little pillow from it for her. Yeah, I thought maybe I can make mittens, but you need, it's too tiny for mittens, baby mittens. I'm not sure what I will do with it, but be careful when you wash your knits and your crochets. Okay, the knitting accident. The second thing, I have something I don't understand. And yesterday I told you about my scrappy blanket. This is the Coziest Memory Blanket by Camper Ray. That was her name. I'm not sure if I remembered it yesterday. A really lovely scrappy blanket. And yesterday I added these squares. It was my plan to only add this square, but then I think there was too little contrast between these colors. They are all both a shade of brown, and I don't like them next to each other. So I added quite a bright other color for my scrappy basket. And so I knitted these, and I told you yesterday, I knitted this whole blanket on circular needles, 2.25, and I switched to 2mm DPNs. And my square, the other square I knitted, was quite loose knitted. It didn't look quite neat, and it was so loose, and I didn't love the look, but I was also okay with it because it's a scrappy blanket. It's okay. Don't focus too much on the details, but look at the end result, and you won't notice anymore that something is not really correct in the square or whatever. But when I knitted these two, these were knitted neat and quite tight, and these were perfect, and I didn't understand why the other one was so loose. So I ripped out the other square and re-knitted it, and now it's also good. So I don't know what was happening. Why this now it's looking nice and fine, but why? There was one difference. I picked up the stitches for this one the first time with a 3mm DPN, because I was knitting this blanket on 2.25, and I thought, oh, knitting a blanket on 2mm needles, that's quite ambitious. So I started with 3mm needles, but I picked up the stitches and knitted one row and I immediately saw, oh, that's way too loose. So I didn't rip out because I didn't want to pick up the stitches again, but just changed to 2mm needles and knitted a whole square. But the whole square was loose. This was extra loose, but all the rows were loose. And I was surprised by that, because I thought 2mm, that will make a tighter gauge. And when I got that tighter gauge with these two, I didn't get it. What was happening? And I know your knitting gauge can change by how you feel. When you are relaxed, you knit more looser. When you are very stressed, you knit more tighter. But there was not much difference between how I felt Sunday evening and yesterday evening. I felt good. There were no special circumstances. It was just nice and easy. I don't know. The only thing was that I picked up the stitches with a bigger needle, but how I can't see how that affects the whole square. I don't understand, but I'm happy I ripped out and re-knitted it. But now, because now it looks better than my first try. But I can stand. I can get it. It's how does it work? So maybe some of you know a reason and can explain it to me. So yeah. I really am happy that I switched to DPNs, because it makes this knitting much more fun. And it also reminds me, I really love to learn these kind of things through my knitting and crochet. I always call them life lessons. My crafting gives me life lessons every day, because by changing a little detail, in this case the tools, changing the needles, the whole project gets another energy. So this was not a knitting which was making me very happy. I loved the look, but I didn't love working on it. And by changing a little thing, the needles, actually it's a big thing, but the whole feeling around this blanket changed and gets way more positive. And I always get very inspired from that when I discover such things in my knitting, because there are a lot of other things in my life, not knitting or crochet related, in which I can do that too. When there is something happening in your life and you don't like it, or those can be little things or big things, whatever. But sometimes you only have to change a little thing, and the whole feeling changes. And I really love to use that kind of insights and that kind of tools, tricks in my housekeeping, for example. But I always learn them or discover them through my knitting and crochet, and that really makes it fun. That when I discover something, I think, oh, but when I do that in that case, and it works, and it's so learning life lessons through your knitting and crochet. I think it's really fun. So here, this is my yarn left. I also used less yarn because it was on a tighter gauge. I will add this in my scrappy shawl for one row, I guess. Yes. Now I have quite some left from the yarn, and I will add it in my northeasterly blanket. And I'm not sure if I will add the whole ball or if I will, maybe I also will put a little scrappy, put a little bit in my scrappy shawl. That would be nice. Yes, I didn't knit at my Felix cardigan yesterday, but I will today. Yesterday I had a birthday party which I was going to, and the time flew by, and it was evening, and I knitted on these, and then I went to bed. So, but today I will. I hope to finish my Felix sleeve, the first sleeve of my Felix cardigan. So this was it for today. I wish you a very nice day and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.